Attention, the following broadcast has been approved by Outcasted OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your NXT review this week. It is back Wednesday. I am here to talk about the greatest show on TV in the whole of wrestling, in my humble opinion. And this week we've got a great show because it is NXT Heatwave, kind of a TV special, not quite a pay-per-view, not quite a normal episode of NXT, kind of in the middle, but with a load of championship matches in between. Let's go. So, this week is a lot of matches on this card was promised to me that did it deliver? I don't know. Let's get into it and find out. But before we do, guys, I just want to say if you enjoy the video, if you enjoy what I'm about to say, please like and subscribe. You know, put in the comments to see if you agree with what I'm saying, to see if you're excited about what's going on in NXT at the moment. And you know what? If you haven't watched NXT before and you've just found this video somehow and you've tuned in and you've decided to see what your boy's talking about, then, make sure you let me know that I'm doing a great, fantastic job, because that's the only opinion that I want to see. No, I'm joking. No, we open the show, guys, with Tony D'Angelo sat at a pool, and he answers the phone and Stack's on the phone, and then Stack says, we need to get over it. There's something that we need to discuss. And Tony D is like, I've got a lot on my back already, Stacks. Like, I've got people looking for me. You know what I mean? Like, the feds are watching me. I've got to be careful. But it ends up being a joke. It ends up being in the opening to the show where Stacks like throws Tony D in the water and they just start messing around. Big Ange shows up, and another mob member, and Tony D says, what are you doing here? And says, I brought a couple of friends out. I hope that's okay. It's just a load of hot women, basically. And Tony D's like, hell yeah, that's fine by me. And there's just a moment here where the party and they're all getting along. We all know where it's going to go to. Stacks is going to get lucky tonight because it's Stacks. Tony Stacks Lorenzo, baby, he always gets the girl. But there's just a really funny moment here where the mob and these really attractive women are talking about wrestling in NXT Heatwave, and it's like, okay. Like, you're all just sat there, you're having a drink, having a bit of a pool party, and you sat there talking about NXT. I just in my head, I just thought that was really funny. Like in what world would that happen? Like, I've never been at a pool party. I've never been at a party in general, and everyone's just stopped and started talking about wrestling. Even wrestling parties that I've been to, people don't usually do that. But it is what it is. Like, I want to join this mob family. That's the only thing I'm thinking. Now, we open the show, guys, with maybe the match of the night, to be honest with you, which is quite early in the night, but hell, I don't care. We have got Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams. For no title is on the line. It's basically just to prove that Trick Williams can go by himself, that he doesn't need Carmelo Hayes, that he can get this done all on his own. Really good match. I thought this is Trick Williams coming out party, to be quite honest with you. He was able to hold his own with Ilya Dragunov, like really taking it to him all the way through the match. The tough, hard-hitting style of Dragunov, the Mad Dragon, just on showcased here all the way through the match. But Trick Williams coming back, fighting back, showing the heart of a future champion, maybe. You never know. That's, I wouldn't mind seeing that. The crowd was really behind Trick Williams in this match, something that I'm not surprised of, but it was really nice to see. They were chanting and clapping like, Trick gonna beat your ass, Trick gonna beat your ass. I love it so much. I love it when the crowd gets involved and gets behind a natural formation of a future champion, like I said, in my opinion. There's a really cool moment in this match where Trick Williams just hits an absolutely devastating knee, and it sounds and looks beautiful to Ilya Dragunov. He kicks out at 2, mind. Dragunov then goes for his, that final shot that he does, like that absolutely like horrible forearm. Trick Williams kicks out. Dragunov goes to the top rope, realizes that he has to do something different. Like I said, I put a little bit more pepper on that steak, if you will, and hits Trick Williams top rope move, forearm, 1, 2, 3. Ilya Dragunov wins the match. However, Trick Williams is standing up towards the end of like the, Dragunov like celebrating, and you can see Dragunov looking over, nodding his head, in admiration and acknowledging that Trick Williams really did bring it tonight, and he isn't just a second fiddle, and he isn't just how Booker T put it, a talking head. So Trick Williams has arrived in NXT. Like I say, I think this was his coming out party. I really enjoyed this matchup, and like I say, I think it was match of the night. We now go backstage to something horrible, and it's Tyler Bate doing yoga, and it's because Dabba-Kato attacked him last week. So this is how he channels the pain, and this is how he deals with the pain by doing yoga, which is absolutely fine until Nathan Fraser shows up on TV and starts talking. I kind of spaced and blacked out a little bit, but the gist that I got was, because everyone in the metaphor is going to be at ringside tonight for the Heritage Cup Championship match. He wants Tyler Bate to be his second and to be his backup, to which Tyler Bate says, cool, I'll do it. That's absolutely fine. We now go backstage again, and we are talking about... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Hang on, no, we're going to a match, actually. My bad. My apologies, my friends. We now go to quite a quick match, but an interesting match between Ivy Nile and Ava Raine, or just Ava, that they're calling her now, of the Schism. Interesting match, mainly just because like the amount of offense that Ava got in. Ava was dominating quite a lot of this match with power moves, just overpowering Ivy Nile all the way through this match. Scoop slams, power slams, just absolutely beating the crap out of her, getting her into the corners, hitting those clotheslines. Ava Raine dominated a lot of this match. Ava Raine goes to go for another scoop slam. Ivy Nile floats over right into a dragon sleeper hold, which Ava taps quite quickly too. The rest of the Schism get in the ring, including all of the masked followers. Ivy Nile starts beating some of them down. While this is going on, two followers of the Schism grab Ava and save her and pull her out the ring and start walking her to the back. So it looks like Ava Raine has been saved. Later on in the night, we see that Ava Raine keeps saying to Ivy Nile that you failed, that you were unsuccessful in destroying Ava Raine, and the Schism is as strong as ever, thanks to these two loyal followers. And these two loyal followers are stood behind her. I think we know where this is going, because once again, we cut later on in the night to Ava Raine once again talking a load of nonsense. Like she was saying, I called out Ivy Nile, and she still hasn't done anything about it. Ivy Nile then does show up and says, surprise, bitch, basically, because obviously the two followers that helped Ava Raine escape turns out to be the Creed brothers. I'm surprised Ava Raine didn't think about that. Like, there's two people in masks stood behind me. I don't know who these two people are. Seeing as though what's been going on for the past couple of weeks, I should probably check who these people are. But no, I've just gone with them to a dark backstage locker room and cut a promo, and then got Ivy Nile to come to the locker room. And now I'm by myself with two people who I don't know and Ivy Nile. So basically what's happened here is obviously they reveal the masks to be Julius and Brutus Creed. They kidnap Ava Raine, and basically they say to the rest of the Schism, if you want your Ava back, you will give us another opportunity next week against you guys to get our contracts back. And also, just because the rest of the Schism can't get involved, it is going to be a steel cage match. So yeah, the Faces have kidnapped somebody, and they have holding her against her will again for a week. So yeah, yay, let's cheer for the Creed brothers. I love NXT so much. Yeah, the two biggest faces in NXT at the moment. One's a mafia family, and the other's just kidnapped a woman against her will. So yeah, let's cheer for the good old good guys, people. Let's cheer for those people. We now go backstage, guys. To Wes Lee. Says he makes his own destiny. Dragunov is basically talking to him, saying, we got Trick Williams out of the way, and now there's nothing stopping him from going after the NXT Championship. Wes Lee says, by the end of the night, there is going to be a new NXT champion. I hope you realize that. And he stood right in front of you. He makes his own destiny. And now the way you're talking, it seems that like when I win the NXT Championship, he's going to have to go against the Mad Dragon. So if Wes Lee wins tonight, it looks like that's the match that is going to be set up later on down the line, which I am down for. Next, we now go to the first championship match of the night. It is the Heritage Cup Championship. It is Noam Dar going up against Nathan Fraser, the champion. The winner of this match becomes the undisputed cannot be disputed anymore forever. Heritage Cup champion. Obviously, Noam Dar is accompanied by the rest of the Metaphor, and you have got Tyler Bate backing up Nathan Fraser. This is a better Heritage Cup match than I've seen in recent times. I'm not a massive fan of the Heritage Cup rules. I think it leads to a little bit of complacency during the matches because obviously you've got 6 3-minute rounds. Not every one of those rounds are going to contain something. It's going to be a lot of rest holds. But with these two, with the fast-moving pace of these two guys, I think it worked out quite well. And the storytelling in the match was quite good. Earlier on in the match, Tyler Bate gets attacked once again by Dabba-Kato, taking him out of this match. By the way, this is another annoying thing about this Heritage Cup rules thing. A lot of it sometimes happens in the commercials, and this one is no different. Noam Dar picks up the first fall in the commercial break. It is picture-in-picture, but for me, that's still kind of annoying in my opinion. But yeah, Dar picks up the first fall. What happens next then is we get to the third round, so nothing has happened in the second round and nothing has happened in the third round. Like I say, leads to a bit of complacency in the ring. It's looking that these two guys are so good in the ring. I do apologize. I think I might be getting a cold, by the way, if you've just heard that. So after the third round bell goes, Noam Dar cheap shots Nathan Fraser headed into the fourth, and they've only got 20 seconds to recover. So Noam Dar has the clear advantage. However, in the fourth round, Nathan Fraser picks up a fall. So it is now 1 apiece heading into the last 2 rounds. Nothing really happens in the 5th round. Once again, another advert or another commercial break comes on, which is annoying. But in the 6th round, we do see Noam Dar hitting a lot of big moves. We see him getting Nathan Fraser into a knee bar, which he eventually gets out of. However, distraction from Aura Mensa means that Noam Dar gets a lucky victory here. Noam Dar is new Heritage Cup champion. He later finds out later on in the night. By the way, like I'm not dissing this match. Like I said, it was a better Heritage Cup match than I've seen in a long while. So I did enjoy this match. It was one of the better matches on the card tonight. So go check this out if you're a fan of the Heritage Cup rules. Not dumping on it whatsoever. Nathan Fraser, although I don't like him on the microphone, like I've said for the past couple of weeks, I think he's absolutely phenomenal in the ring. He just needs someone to talk for him because his voice goes through me, his promos go through me, the hard-hitting truth segments go through me. I can't be bothered with it. Maybe he needs to take some promo classes off the boy Noam Dar, the new Heritage Cup champion. Speaking of the Heritage Cup champion, like I was about to say, he finds out later on in the night that he is going to be defending the Heritage Cup Championship at the No Mercy pay-per-view in the next month. He doesn't have to defend it for a couple of weeks. He's very excited about that. And how are we going to find out the person who is going to be challenging him for the Heritage Cup? It is going to be an 8-man tournament. I love a good tournament in NXT because it always provides a lot of great matches, and I love covering it for you guys. So that is how we're going to be finding out the new #1 contender for the Heritage Cup Championship, which I am absolutely down for. I am ready for it. Send it my way, baby. We now get a bit of a chaotic segment here, to be honest with you. Tiffany Stratton comes out to the ring and says it's been the summer of Tiffany. It is going to be the fall of Tiffany because we're moving into fall or autumn, depending where you are in the world. She says she's going to be the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time. She's going to be better than Bayley. She's going to be better than Asuka. She's going to be better than Becky Lynch. And she's even going to be better than Charlotte Flair, which a few people have a problem with because then we get a lot of people interrupting it. Gigi Dolan comes out and says the classic babyface thing, which I cannot stand. Hey, Tiff, why don't you shut up? Like, it's like, oh god, like, can you come up with something more inventive, please? Gigi Dolan then gets interrupted by Kiana James, who says, you know, with your win-loss record, you shouldn't even be talking about the women's championship at the moment. It should be me. Blair Davenport then comes out and starts talking about how she should be the #1 contender, just because, you know, she's dead hard, I suppose, you know, that, and she's taking people out, even though she did just lose at the pay-per-view. But, you know, I'm not going to argue with Blair Davenport maybe getting a championship match. We then get Roxanne Perez then coming out, interrupting Blair Davenport, saying, I don't know why you're talking all this nonsense, seeing as well I put you through a table, baby. So I've just got one thing to say to you, Tiffany Stratton. Gets in the ring, punches out Tiffany Stratton. A brawl ensues, a very, very fast brawl because the camera cuts away from it very, very quickly, which I thought was a little bit odd, but you know, it is what it is, I suppose. Later on in the night, Tiffany Stratton does confirm that there is going to be a number one contenders fatal four-way match next week for the NXT, for the chance to face her for the NXT Women's Championship, which I'm assuming is probably going to be happening at No Mercy, which is going to be a great match with any of those people, apart from Kiana James. I'm not sure she's ready for the NXT Championship, to be honest. I mean, to be honest, neither is Gigi Dolan. She's great in the ring, but I don't think she's ready for a championship match. I think it's either going to be Roxanne Perez or Blair Davenport. So just to confirm, that fatal four-way match is Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport versus Gigi Dolan versus Kiana James. Predictions? Oh, I think it's going to be Roxanne Perez. I think it's going to be Roxanne Perez, and maybe she wins the title. Maybe she beats Tiffany Stratton, and then maybe her and Blair Davenport have a championship feud heading into the winter near Christmas time. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I wouldn't mind seeing them two go one-on-one again whatsoever. The only problem with that is it means Roxanne Perez has to win the championship again, something that I'm not a big fan of, because I do think Roxanne Perez is a little bit green still in the ring. She puts on some great matches, but at the same time, I'm not the biggest fan of Roxanne Perez. With that being said, I do think it's Blair Davenport's time, but I don't think Tiffany Stratton versus Blair Davenport would work very well because they're both heels, and I don't really see the story going into that unless it's just Blair Davenport walking in and destroying her, which would be bad for Tiffany Stratton, and I don't want to see that. So let me know in the comments what you think of that. Like, what do you think? Do you think it's going to be Blair Davenport? Do you think it's going to be Roxanne Perez? Do you guys even think it might be Kiana or Gigi Dolan? You know, it might be Gigi Dolan heading into No Mercy. They might just want to have like a maybe like a placeholder number one contenders match maybe for Tiffany Stratton. But I think we've had plenty of that, to be honest with you. I do think we need to start having some great matches in Tiffany Stratton's NXT Championship run. The Thea Hale thing was a great start with a submission match and the whole storyline with Chase U. That was good, but I really think we should carry on that momentum for Tiffany Stratton into another great feud. So for me, Roxanne Perez is probably the best example of that. And after that is Blair Davenport, but they would have to write that story very interestingly for me to get involved. There's a little segment backstage that I don't really care about. It's Drew Gulak and Dempsey, beating on some people. You know, you're gonna have to be harder than that to, be in our training sessions, etc. Which I thought was just a bit rubbish. I didn't really care about it. Literally wrote no notes about it because it was a nothing thing, to be honest with you. I have already discussed the Noam Dar segment. Here we go, guys. Interesting segment here. There was a bit earlier on in the night where there was a locker room segment with Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio, and they were talking about how Mami always likes to punish. The Judgment Day is going to punish, and they're going to punish their opponents later on tonight, that being Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. They are then interrupted by Mustafa Ali, who says, go out there and break a leg, Dom. Like, no, literally break a leg because no one wants you in NXT. And then a rightful North American champion can be crowned, like me, for example. Rhea Ripley then turned around to Mustafa Ali and said, if you don't get out of our locker room in 10 seconds, then you're gonna be beaten down, baby. Mustafa Ali then makes a sex joke and goes 10 seconds. Haha, you're used to that, I bet. Lol, jokes, sex jokes, lol. Mami always on top. Let's go. Leading into this match, we get the Judgment Day versus Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria. This match was very underwhelming for me. I won't lie to you. I do think the biggest story in this match was Lyra and Rhea Ripley. I just think Dragon Lee and Dominic Mysterio were kind of placeholders in this match. The biggest story was the women, which is absolutely fine because I would like to see a match between these two people once again, maybe in the future, maybe for the women's championship. I know that WWE have their eye on Lyra and they have big plans for her. So, maybe we'll see that maybe sooner rather than later. This match does end with Raquel Rodriguez. For some reason, the referee does not disqualify Dragon Lee and Lyra Valkyria for Raquel getting involved and beating down Rhea Ripley. But while this is going on the outside, Dragon Lee pins the North American champion Dominic Mysterio. So I think that will line up Wes Lee. Sorry, not Wes Lee. Why did I just randomly say Wes Lee? Oh yeah, because Dragon Lee and Wes Lee. That's probably why I got mixed up. So I see Dragon Lee probably getting in an NXT North American Championship match very soon in the future, probably at No Mercy, which I'm absolutely fine with. Dragon Lee is an incredible talent. So with that going on with Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Maybe she has actually got something to do now on Monday Night Raw instead of just like kind of being like the voice and like the leader of the Judgment Day. I think it's time we start giving her some, you know, championship matches, seeing as though she's the women's world champion. But you know, that's just my opinion, guys. And Dominic Mysterio can keep on like doing his thing on NXT. Like I say, he is doing a great job down there, in my opinion. I really have noticed the improvement in the ring. He's definitely been putting in the work backstage. And you can really see it. The fact that maybe that he's got like a bigger work schedule now, that you know that he's working not just NXT but Raw and even sometimes SmackDown. I think it's all improving and really contributing to how good that he's getting in the ring. So fair play to Dominic Mysterio, putting in the ring, putting in the work backstage, maybe even in the Performance Center. And I am excited to see Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio. I think it'd be a great match. What do we have after this? I have already talked about the Tiffany Stratton segment, so we will move straight on to Von Wagner versus Baron Corbin. That doesn't even get started. They're just absolutely battering each other outside of the ring. They are just fighting and fighting and fighting until Braun Breaker gets involved and absolutely like launches both of them. And that's the end of the segment, to be honest with you. I was a little bit disappointed with that. I thought I was looking forward to Baron Corbin versus Von Wagner. However, I will let them off if this means we're going to get a triple threat match between Corbin, Wagner, and Braun Breaker. That'll just be like big meaty men slapping meat, just beating each other down. Absolutely amazing heavy hitters, just putting in like the beats on each other. Like I don't even know how else to say that, but like take my money. I want to see that. Definitely 100% at No Mercy. I don't really want to see on NXT TV. I would like to see it on a pay-per-view, please. That would be great. That would be amazing. What do we have next, guys? Just before that match, by the way, I just want to mention there was a little bit of a segment. I mean, I call it a match. It was just a beatdown. There was a segment where Trick Williams was talking to MELLO, saying, you know, I know you can do it. Basically, you know, you have my back, but it's your first NXT title defense without me in your corner. And MELLO then throws a little bit of shade at Trick Williams, saying, you know, well, I don't really want asterisks on my title run, and how the match ended with Dragunov was a little bit shady. So, you know, it's probably for the best. And like Trick was like, you know, are you blaming me? Is that my fault? And obviously MELLO then quickly goes, no, it's not your fault, not your fault. And then they seem to make up. But is there a little bit of tension in the Trick MELLO gang, guys? I hope not. I sincerely hope not. I don't want these guys to have a rivalry, to be honest with you. I would be interested in seeing it, you know, the storyline. I think that'd be cool. But at the end of the day, I don't think everyone needs to break up and fight. I think sometimes, you know, friends can just stay friends, like the New Day. You know, I don't ever want them to break up. I don't want Trick MELLO to break up. I think they've got perfect chemistry. And if either one of them ever came up to the main roster, I think that both of them should come up to the main roster. I think they should stay together. I think this whole Trick Williams needs to find himself thing is cool. But at the same time, maybe don't do that forever. You know what I mean? Bring them back together eventually. Speaking of, I'm not playing Grand Theft Auto, guys. That was just my ringtone. Very unprofessional of me. I do apologize because, you know, I'm just looking at the notes on my phone. How unprofessional of me not to have that on vibrate. Speaking of people coming back together, the Schism want the friend back. So Jagger Reed and Rick Fowler accept the challenge for the steel cage match against the Creed brothers next week. They say, you may think the steel cage match will keep members of the Schism out, but be careful who you're locking yourselves in with, because we have been in this situation before and we will bring the fight. And Joe Gacy says Rick Fowler and Jagger Reed, whatever, will bring back their sister. They will do anything to bring back their sister back to the Schism. I thought this was weird that like that Ava Raine didn't go and try and find the rest of the Schism when she was backstage with these two random masked people. I thought that was really odd. I thought that was an odd decision that she made. In fact, instead of going finding the rest of my teammates, I'm going to stand in the dark. But I've already talked about that, so we'll move on. Now, guys, I'm going to talk about this match, and don't take this the wrong way, but I really expected a lot more from this match. You have got the NXT Championship match here. You got Wes Lee versus Carmelo Hayes. two absolutely amazing people who over the past year have absolutely killed it. Wes Lee has definitely marked, in my opinion, himself down as one of the greatest North American champions of all time. Carmelo Hayes, former North American champion around this time last year, and had an absolutely great run with that. And then also has had a really good start with the NXT Championship. I really expected more from this match. Now, that's not to say it wasn't good. It was just satisfactory for me. Basically, what you expect from these two guys, going blow for blow. The speed factor. Both of these people can hit great, fantastic speed moves. That's great analysis, Reese. The match basically starts with them mirroring each other, like try to hit each other with clotheslines, hit each other with kicks, like hit each other with arm drags and stuff like that. Then they both kip up and they go, "Hey, I've got your number. Hey, I know. I've been watching the tapes." Both of them have been doing that. There is a spot in this match, however, this is how it ends, where Wes Lee goes for the cardiac kick. He hits the cardiac kick, but Carmelo Hayes is smart enough to roll out of the ring just in time. He then gets a really cool segment here as well. Sorry, I'm just like trying to think of like the process of how this happened. Yes. There's a really cool segment in this match as well. Just mentioning the cool segments, guys. I was going to do it in order, and then on the fly, I've just decided to tell you them all. And there's a really cool segment where Wes Lee is leaning on the announce table, and Carmelo Hayes does a no look DDT onto Wes Lee, which is absolutely phenomenal. He bounces off the ropes, flies backwards into the DDT position, and puts Wes Lee through the table, which is absolutely sensational. But like I say, that there is a moment in this match where Wes Lee goes for the cardiac kick. I believe it is after the DDT moment. Carmelo Hayes goes back outside the ring just to avoid, any more damage and to avoid getting pinned to lose his championship. Wes Lee goes for a high flying move. Carmelo Hayes moves out of the way. Wes Lee seems to really hurt himself on the outside. Maybe he hits his head on the barricade. Carmelo Hayes pauses for a moment, he doesn't really know what to do. He drags Wes Lee back into the ring. Wes Lee goes to stand back up, only to get hit by nothing but net. 1, 2, 3. Carmelo Hayes stays the NXT champion, which I think we all thought was expected. But at the same time, like I say, I expected a little bit more out of this match, and I also expected it to go on for a little bit longer. Considering what these two guys can do. But that's the end of NXT Heatwave this week, guys. What did you think of it? Have you watched it yet? Did you enjoy what I said about it? Do you agree with any of my opinions? If you do or you don't, let me know in the comments. If you've liked the video, guys, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've only just seen us. You can go follow us on all different kinds of social media as well, guys. We are picking up our content on TikTok as well. We have got our own TikTok channel, Outcasted OC. All of the videos on there. Also, go to the YouTube Shorts if you want to catch them there. We are also on Instagram and X/Twitter at Outcasted OC. If you want to go follow any of the guys individually, of course, their links are going to be in the description down below on the Instagram and on the TikTok. Like I say, I have already given my opinion of NXT Heatwave. A little bit underwhelming in my opinion, but you can't have everything you want, I suppose. Like I say, the match of the night for me was definitely the opening match of Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams. The Heritage Cup Championship match was okay. It wasn't too bad. Like I say, it was better than most Heritage Cup matches that I see. And what undelivered at the end of the night was the NXT Championship match. But apart from that, it was just a setup show, in my opinion. I'm not sure why they decided to do a TV special of setups, because they've been doing that for the past couple of weeks. But hey ho, let's hope No Mercy is better in a month or so. But with that being said, guys, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. Stay tuned tomorrow because Ahsoka is out today. If you're a Star Wars fan, I am going to be watching Ahsoka, and then me and Ross are having a special guest on the podcast tomorrow to discuss the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. So if you're a Star Wars fan, do not miss out on that. And then tune in on Friday for the Impact review from Lauren, and then tune in on Saturday morning for the SmackDown review from either G or Ross, respectively. But with that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I shall see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys.